Good morning to all. Bonjour tout le monde, and welcome to the 5th Annual Windward Islands Debating Competition, hosted for the second time by the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. My name is Tracy Pilgrim George, and it is my pleasure for the next 2 days to be your mistress of ceremony.
It is an honor to welcome all of you to this, the 5th Annual Windward Islands Debating Competition, or the WIDC. This is certainly an occasion of which we should be proud. We have been able to sustain the planning and execution of the WIDC, and despite many challenges, we are able to begin yet another round of debates. Through the WIDC, the community colleges of the Windward Islands seek to fulfill their mandates as tertiary institutions to develop the higher order and critical thinking skills of their students. This, it is hoped, will be achieved by providing students with a forum which is grounded in research, one which focuses on the planning and organizing of information in a convincing manner, and one which encourages the framing of evidence-based arguments. The aim of the WIDC is also to reinforce a multidisciplinary approach which is needed to assess the needs of Caribbean societies and to nurture critical thinkers who will also help shape the democratic societies of the Caribbean region. The WIDC is the result of continued collaboration between several entities, which include the community colleges of the Windward Islands, CARICAD, the Eastern Caribbean Debating Foundation, Inc., the OECS Commission, and the Medgar Evers College. Each of the 4 colleges of the Windward Islands has successfully hosted the WIDC since 2017, save for 2021, because of all the uncertainties associated with COVID-19, we had to put a pause in September of 2020, which is when planning for the competition would have started. However, in September 2021, the Regional Planning Committee met to determine the feasibility of a 2022 competition. That committee comprises representatives from the 4 community colleges and other representatives of a few strategic partners. The members are Ms. Trudy Christian, Ms. Eslyn Lewis, Ms. Tedra Kirby, Mr. Franklin Michael, Mr. Milton Lawrence, Dr. Ken Irish, and yours truly. Again, given the uncertainties associated with COVID-19 and the fact that we must begin planning for this competition the year before it actually occurs, the team decided that a virtual competition this time around would be the most feasible option. It is our hope, however, that 2023 will allow us to revert to the face-to-face format of the WIDC, which will provide debaters with an even richer experience. While you are with us in various capacities, whether as specially invited guests, our viewers online, we are most grateful for your presence. We accept this as evidence of your endorsement of the goals and of the vision of the WIDC.
Let's meet our debaters. Representing 758 St. Lucia, our team members are Ashley Barnett, Jaden Lubar, Jean-Luc Constantine, and Rankage King. A little bit of background of our debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Ashley Barnett is a 17-year-old currently pursuing her degree in biology at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Jaden Lubrow is a 17-year-old who is pursuing his studies and is in an associate's degree in chemistry with a minor in biology at the college. Jalouk is also a 17-year-old here at the college who is currently studying the CAPE subjects of law, sociology, and literature. And finally, on our team, 758 team, we have Rankage King, who is a 16-year-old currently pursuing studies in sustainable business and innovation at the college. 758 team, good luck. From the Spice Isle, Dominica, Grenada, sorry Grenada. I'm giving you your spices over to our sister country here. Dominica State College, 767. Representing the team, the 4 debaters from Dominica are Hanel Valerie. He is a 19-year-old, currently a second-year student at the Dominica State College. He is pursuing an associate's degree in biology, chemistry, and physics. The next member of the team, Noah James. Noah is currently attending Dominica State College and pursuing a double degree in mathematics as well as physics. Next we have Shaunalee Gordon. She is a second-year major at Dominica State College, currently pursuing an associate's degree in mathematics, accounting, and business administration with a concentration in finance. Sami Daru is the 4th member of the debating team. She is currently a second-year student at the Dominica State College, majoring in biology. Now we have the Spice Isle. Grenada, T.A. Marishaw Community College, 473. And the 4 members of the debating team are Charissa Sylvester. She is from the Caribbean Isle of Grenada, and she's an 18-year-old. She is majoring in law, sociology, literatures in English, and Caribbean studies. The second member of the team, Colleen Blanche, who is a 17-year-old student and aspiring forensic scientist. The third member of the team, Joshua Andal. He is a second-year student studying business. Majors are business management, economics, pure maths, and applied mathematics. And finally, the final member of the team from Grenada is Rebecca Bennett. Rebecca is a student who is majoring in law, sociology, and management of business. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the team representing Grenada. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 784. We have 21-year-old Nisha Richards. Nisa is pursuing her degree, an associate's degree, in secondary education. Hello, Nisa. The second person on the team is Marika Baptiste. She is a 16-year-old pursuing her CAPE studies in biology, chemistry, physical education and sports, and communication studies. Next, we have Junior Primus. Junior is a 24-year-old, and his program of study, he is pursuing an associate's degree in education, specifically primary education. Next, we have 26-year-old Shaden McLean. Her program of study is a Bachelor of Science Nursing. Her career aspirations is to be a traveling nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, our team from St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. And there you have it. Dominica State College, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, T.A. Marishaw Community College, Grenada, and Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, St. Lucia. Debater.
Thank you very much, Mrs. George. A warm welcome to all our participants at this time. Viewers, before we begin our first semi-final moot, I wish to announce to you what our debaters from the Dominica State College and the T.A. Marishaw Community College will be debating on. And the topic is, the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed regional governments' failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education systems. The T.A. Marishaw Community College will be proposing today's debate, and the Dominica State College will be opposing.
Ms. Charles has now wasted 20 minutes of class trying to share her screen, and now she's teaching with her mic muted. This happens in every class. If it's not this, then she doesn't know how to turn on her camera or allow students in the class. If this isn't a glaring example of how regional governments have failed to successfully integrate ICT into our education system, then I don't know what is. Judges, opponents, audience, all, good morning. I stand here with great tenacity, resolute and unyielding in our assent of the moot. Be it resolved that the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed regional governments' failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education system. The issue at hand is important because if shown to be true, there will be a serious charge against regional governments. We would have agreed to their general incompetence. This issue touches the very engine of the social, economic, and political aspects of a country. That engine is education. I will define the salient terms of the moot and establish the foundation of our argument, which is the government's reactive approach, emergency remote teaching, and lack of synergy between policy and praxis. My second speaker will further fortify our line of reasoning. Virtual learning, according to Lumen Learning, Simonson and Schlosser, 2006, is defined as learning that can functionally and effectively occur in the absence of traditional classroom environments. Regional governments, according to Collins Dictionary, refers to the group of people who are responsible for governing countries in a particular area. According to the Oxford Dictionary, successfully means in a way that accomplishes a desired aim or result. ICT, or Information Communications Technology, according to UNESCO, refers to a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to transmit, store, create, or exchange information. Cambridge Dictionary defines failure as the fact of not doing something that you must do or are expected to do. Cambridge Dictionary also defines integrate as the act of combining two or more things into one. The Caribbean region has made strides in the education system over the past few decades. While we commend these efforts, the integration of ICT in education in our region has been occurring at snail's pace, and there is still significant improvements to be made. So you see, Honorable Chair, it is not our contention that the regional governments did not integrate ICT into our education system, but rather that they did not do this successfully.
Good morning, honorable judges, Madam Moderator, my most worthy opponents, and colleagues. On behalf of the opposing side, I welcome you to this debate. Good morning, I am Shawnee Gordon reporting for Windward Island News with breaking news reaching our news desk this morning. Last evening, Category 5 Hurricane COVID-19 finished its sweep across our region. Preliminary reports show that there has been minimal destruction of ICT integration efforts in the education system. Several ministers of education across the region have joined their voices together in one acclaim. that there are still steps which remain to be taken to improve ICT integration, but Hurricane COVID-19 did not expose significant defects, and as such, the integration of ICT was not a failure. Madam Moderator, having thoroughly examined our regional governments and the plans that they have implemented, my colleague and I will argue unreservedly that the proposition stance is a fallacy. To say that the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed the government's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education systems is inaccurate. To support our stance, I will elaborate using these 3 points. Firstly, there's no proven metric which can be used to deem our regional ICT integration as a failure. Secondly, I will draw focus to the numerous examples of ICT integration in our regional education systems. And lastly, I will highlight the evident success the Caribbean region has reaped with ICT integration thus far. Before I proceed, permit me to define some key terms. Failure, as defined by the Cambridge Dictionary, is the fact of someone or something not succeeding. ICT, or Information and Communication Technology, specifically in education, is defined as the various aspects of computers, networks, including the internet, software, and other environments that act as a tool for teachers and students by supporting learning and instruction, a definition by Antonio Cartelli and Marco Palmer in the Encyclopedia of Information Communication Technology. Integration, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is the action or process of combining 2 or more things in an effective way. Firstly, Madam Moderator, my opponents are of the notion that the regional governments have failed to integrate ICT into their respective education systems made clear by the recent pandemic. But what are the determinants of this failure? How does one deem something as complex as ICT integration into educational systems across an entire region a failure? We can agree that success is relative, but against performance standards or some form of metric analysis. Otherwise, such an empty proposition cannot be considered the least bit credible.
In our second semi-final, we will see the St. Lucia's team, Sir Arthur Lewis Community College team members go up against St. Vincent's team, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines State College, where they will debate monogamy is not regarded as the ideal for a modern way of life. St. Lucia's team will oppose the moot, and St. Vincent's team will be proposing.
Times are changing. In fact, times are always changing.
VG,
Much like the changes in our
Team
preference to
SVG.
food, music, and clothes, so too are our preferences in our lifestyles and relationships. The uncomfortable truth is this: monogamy is not ideal for living in our modern day society. In fact, Moderator, to think otherwise would be as ridiculous as placing 1,000 holes into the hull of a boat, placing that boat into the Caribbean Sea, and still expecting that boat to sail successfully to any of our Caribbean neighbors. Before I continue my discourse, permit me to define 3 key terms: monogamy, polygamy, and ideal. In the Cambridge English Dictionary defines monogamy as the condition or culture of having one sexual partner or being married to one person at a time. The dictionary goes on to define polygamy as having multiple sexual partners or being married to multiple persons at one time. The difference in these 2 key terms lies in their prefixes. In Greek, monogamy or mono stands for singular. Poly stands for multiple. Therefore, if you're in a committed relationship with one person at a time, you are in a monogamous relationship. As the proposition of today's moot, we stand strongly in agreement that monogamy is not regarded as ideal for our modern day living. Since, moderator, monogamy does not guarantee an exclusive relationship nor commitment, it is against our very human nature, and it refuses to accept and recognize sweeping societal changes. Monogamy is no automatic guarantor for commitment nor an exclusive relationships. And the thought that it does is a gross misconception. This is why it is a far cry from being ideal for our modern way of living. The reality is, what many in our society term as monogamy is actually misconsented non-monogamous relationships. Misconsented non-monogamous relationships is officially defined by Law 2012 as when one of the partners in a sexual relation has sexual intercourse with a person outside of the primary relationship without the consent of their partner.
She loves like she drives, always changing lanes, distracted by her phone. A poem by Derek Robert De La Hunt. Nice, don't you think? Moderator, debate officials, members of the proposition, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Today, the mission of my colleague and I is to challenge the moot. Monogamy is not regarded as the ideal for a modern way of life. And I think that this poem quite aptly sets the tone for my submission that monogamy is, in fact, regarded as ideal for a modern way of life. You may ask, who regards it as ideal? I will, throughout my presentation, indicate who does. But I will, at this point, clarify that I use the word ideal in a very philosophical sense, as defined in the Britannica Dictionary, exactly right for a particular purpose, situation, or person. In this case, the purpose or situation is a modern way of life. Let me clarify as well that when I speak of monogamy, I am referring to, and I quote, a relationship with only one partner at a time rather than multiple partners, end quote. That's how WebMD defines the term. And according to WebMD, such relationships can be sexual or emotional, or sexual and emotional. I am also compelled to address the matter of a modern way of life, or modern day living. I concur with the position of Medical News Today that, and I quote, modern day living is a multifaceted compendium of evolving technology and social media, end quote. In general, modern simply refers to something related to the present or recent past. The poet, in a short exposition following the poem, cautions that, and I quote, if you really want to turn someone on, give them your mind. Turn off your phone and focus that wandering mind. Just be there, fully and completely. We must do so, he advises, because distraction is an unattractive quality. Inattention is ugly. And distraction and inattention are twin products of polygamy, which is the opposite of monogamy. Moderator, as my colleague and I vehemently oppose the notion that monogamy is not regarded as the ideal for a modern way of life, I will convince you that monogamy is regarded as ideal for a modern way of life with three salient points. 1, monogamy is not just possible but en vogue. 2, monogamy is a cheaper option financially and health-wise than the alternative polygamy. And 3, monogamy upholds peace and fraternity ahead of rivalry and antagonism, all of which is desirable in our modern way of life.
The overall winners. And we begin with the first round. Grenada scored 603 points. Dominica, 609 points. So our winner for the first round is none other than Dominica. Congratulations to Team Dominica on securing the prize for the best overall debate for round 1. For the second round, St. Vincent and the Grenadines scored 580 points. St. Lucia scored 554 points. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners for the second round, none other than St. Vincent and the Grenadines with 580 points. Congratulations.